fans at the match unveiled a banner that displayed Santa is a gooner. And just like the big man in red, Arsenal 2 disappear mid-December. Brought to you by Stella Artois Football First. You like that?
Very good. I didn't like it at all.
Matt Yarnell in the house, Dennis and Dorito,
Yes, sir.
Dennis Rowe, and David Knows No Fear. Back from a little bit warmer. You've been in the UK at university. How are you enjoying Cardiff?
Oh, Cardiff is a fantastic place. You know, the weather is just awful. That's all.
The weather's awful.
Yeah, the weather is awful. No,
Why won't you wear your hat?
oh, it's a bit too big, man.
You're a little bit disappointed, aren't you?
Well, you know me for having good hair.
Yep.
When,
Got your hair done. Especially.
yeah, obviously, yeah, always. You know, I've got to look.
Hang on, sorry.
Let me get that for you.
No, it's okay. I get this problem every December. No, it's arsenalitis. I keep joking.
I know.
When is this show over today?
I know.
It's already too long.
Yeah.
Joking.
It's come a bit early. That's usually November.
Let's talk football. Yep. Dennis, what happened to Arsenal?
Massive collapse. I think it started at the Everton game, to be honest. They never showed up that day either. Yesterday, for the first 5 minutes...
We're just looking at the antlers.
I know, the antlers look great. I think for the first 5 minutes, we played pretty okay. We're in the game, etc. Actually, the first half wasn't too bad, but that's because Man City never showed up in the first half. Came out the second half, and we were nowhere to be seen. And just surprised it wasn't 4-1.
Dennis, keep your answer down to maybe about 1 minute.
Good luck.
Why are you on my case?
Time for... is Wenger to blame?
Yeah, to an extent. I think everybody has to take the blame, really. I mean, the players can't keep hiding themselves behind the manager and claiming, and every pundit in the world saying, you know, it's a selection that was actually wrong. But the players, if the players are not willing to actually put in the shift and willing to actually put the hard work in, then it has to go both ways. They can't expect always to take the, go like, oh, Wenger's fault because he had bad selection. I think the game was in such a way where, nobody was actually working hard enough, especially in the second half. I mean, we had so few shots on target as it is, which was absolutely...
Why haven't you got an elf's hat on? I bet you was an elf.
You've done this joke before.
It's funny though.
You've done this joke before.
I'm a Scouser, I can say jokes repeated.
Oh, the short guy. Short guy, notice I was very clear about it, PC and everything.
Yeah, oh yeah, obviously, we're always PC on the
Hang on a minute, David, I think maybe your fan club's walked in.
There you go.
Stay there, we're filming. Stay that side. God, can you pick up Sky on those glasses? Back to football. Arsenal.
But it's sad to see that the last two games we played, that was Everton and Man City, we score one goal very early on, and then we have this tendency to actually sit back. And every Arsenal fan in the world will tell you, as soon as we score one goal, it's not the good old days of it's not the good old days of 1-0 to the Arsenal. Now it's like you score one, you score two, you score three, you're still shaky. Even at 3-0, you're still going like, oh, watch this now. They're going to end up scoring like 4 or something of that nature, and that'll be the end of it.
But City weren't brilliant, were they?
They weren't brilliant. Don't forget they got beaten badly by Leicester the week before, who are pretty much just above the relegation zone. I blame Wenger on it tactically. You don't have 11 players. 2 or 3 did what they could, but 7 or 8 players just sitting back. They didn't all collectively decide to sit back. These are the tactics that Wenger employed, that he tried to do like we did against City 2 years ago. And we paid the penalty for it without playing some Arsenal football.
David, I'll bring you in here. I mean, there's been a lot of talk in the paper about Sanchez and Ozil refusing to sign contracts and they want more money. Not worth it, are they, on that performance?
Oh, definitely not, especially Ozil, man. He's a disappearing act in the big games. But for me, I think definitely Sanchez, he definitely deserves a contract because
You're speaking a little bit Welsh now, aren't you?
Very good. Very good.
He's from the valleys now, isn't he? Probably that last bit was, but...
No, you've lived in Cardiff for the best part of 6 months, 8 months now, or whatever it is. Don't you think Welsh just sounds Trinidadian?
Yeah. To be fair, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it sounds slightly Trini, yeah, a little lingual.
So, do you think Sanchez and Ozil are worthy of new contracts, or do they need to start doing it on the pitch?
I think they need to do their talking on the pitch before they get a new contract for sure. But at this present moment, I think Sanchez definitely deserves it. I'm not sure about Ozil though.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say Mane.
No way.
No way.
Liverpool!
No way.
Never in doubt. 95th minute.
This could be the longest show of my life.
It's just painful, isn't it?
Lord, I'm having trouble here today.
Liverpool's win, Matt, means that Chelsea are not 9 points.
6
Clear.
now.
It's only six. Chelsea have got to come to Liverpool. That was a must-win for Liverpool, really, wasn't
I
it?
think so, yeah, definitely. I didn't think it mattered so
Are you
much
rocking back and
for
forward?
Everton.
Stay still.
I don't know. Cayman. Yeah, no, I think Everton were going to be happy with that point, 0-0, because both teams played awful.
That was a terrible game.
So it was just a boring game, rubbish. Nothing really happened apart from a couple of small incidents. But yeah, I think must win, definite must win for Liverpool. They've got themselves 6 points closer. So everyone seems to be that's around Chelsea seems to have just fallen away recently. So yeah, that was a massive win for Liverpool to get back.
You said to me, David, that you fancy Liverpool for a top 3 finish this season.
Yeah, definitely.
Not any higher, do you don't think?
I'm still not convinced about Liverpool's defense. You know what I mean? I think their attack going forward, they're brilliant, but there's some serious issues at the back, particularly with the goalkeeping situation that needs to be resolved. The centre back pairing needs to be resolved as well. If they get that solved in the summer, I can honestly see them mounting a title challenge next season.
Next season. Now you've, as we've mentioned, you've been in Cardiff, and one of the things you got to do, of course, great honour for you. You went travel from Cardiff. Why are you laughing? This is a serious bit. Stop laughing. Serious. You travelled from Cardiff all the way to Manchester. You got a coach. It took you 3 days, I believe, to get there. Cheapskate, National Express. You get the coach. You just went to soak in the atmosphere, to sit around the theatre of dreams, and then 5 minutes before kickoff, you got a ticket for the biggest game, Manchester United against Man City. How did they get on?
Well,
Brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. Obviously, the result.
What's a one-word answer? You either won or lost. How'd you get
Yeah,
on?
it was brutal. It was brutal. It was terrible. Yeah, no least to say.
You know that's going to be a bit of a disaster because you will never go to that game without thinking, hang on a minute, last time I was in this ground here, we lost.
You're like a bad omen for Manchester United.
I know.
They've been winning since he hasn't been.
I know.
I know.
But how was the experience, you know?
His problem.
Kid from Cayman who's a massive United fan, getting to, apart from the weather.
Well, to be honest, though, it was a fantastic experience.
Your girlfriend, no, there's a TV. She's not shut up over there.
I know.
Excuse me, we're on telly here, guys.
Hey, you're trying to do a show here, eh? Nice makers here. Are you kidding me?
That's the crowd.
Come on, tell us about the experience.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. You know,
Only joking.
Going to United, you know, Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams. You know, I've been watching United since I was a little kid. You know, and going there and soaking up the atmosphere. I mean, we lost, but just hearing, you know what I mean? But just
It was an
hearing fans-
experience.
It was an experience. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And you know, you're just seeing, you know, the 1 or 2 little City fans walking around the place, and you know,
Are they only little? A bit like Dennis.
Have they got green hats on?
We're talking about United.
Oh. Dennis, you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
It's still the theatre of dreams.
But United,
apparently.
under Jose Mourinho, they struggled to begin with.
Yeah.
They've now won 3 and 3, I think.
I think it's 4 actually.
4 and 4 is it? But they're not playing that well. I mean, does that matter?
I dispute with that. I think we've been
I
actually
disagree
playing.
with that.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
been
they're
actually
playing
playing.
rubbish.
We've been playing.
You know, you play the mighty Crystal Palace, the mighty West Brom.
Yeah, but
West Brom have been class. You know,
Yeah,
they've been
they're
playing
playing
really
well
well.
at the moment,
And you
so-
know that Crystal Palace is Liverpool's boogeyman team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So you're pleased with Jose?
In the beginning, I was disappointed, but you know the style of football that we're playing now, we're taking shots on goal. We look more confident, and I would go as far as saying that I think the key factor this season is having Zlatan in the team. This is Zlatan's team. This is not Wayne Rooney's team. This is not Paul Pogba's team. This is Zlatan's team. And we look like a driving force, and I honestly think we're going to make top 4 this year if we continue the path that we're going.
Steven Gerrard, Matt, said on TV that he actually thinks United could challenge for the title.
On the performances recently and the progression that they've made, why not? It only takes Chelsea to slip up a couple of games and everyone's back in it again.
True.
So they're 11 unbeaten now, it's their longest record.
Yeah.
So Yeah, there's no reason why United couldn't. They are getting better. They are definitely improving.
Zlatan, as David just said, has proved to be a good signing. I think he's scored 9 or 10 goals or something already this season.
Last 8 or 9 games.
He's in his mid-30s. I mean, is that something Arsenal could have done with, do you think, a signing of such magnitude?
Well, we were screaming for a centre forward all summer long with a defensive midfielder and a defender, and we went out and bought Perez, which is pretty much a backup, and because of that they stuck Sanchez up. Now maybe in the Arsenal dressing room they decided that they were going to put Sanchez up front, but we definitely could do with a marquee centre forward and put Sanchez. He's done fantastic for Arsenal, but with him in the team and Ozil in the team playing well and a key centre forward, I think that would be the icing cake.
You need a centre back.
we could do with that.
Really need them.
Well, Mustafi was out injured, you know. Mustafi's out injured, and we've missed him in the last 2 games from position and headers. Like we conceded twice against Everton, both from set plays. So he was definitely missed, and he was striking up a great partnership with Koscielny. So yeah, we could have done with an Ibrahimovic.
You feeling a bit hot there, Paul?
I'm roasting it.
Absolutely boiling.
Liverpool won.
And it is because Liverpool won. Dennis, Zlatan though, he's not a Wenger signing, is he, by any stretch of the imagination?
No, and I think that. I can understand why all the Arsenal fans have been brushing off the Wenger out banners, which have been in the garage for a while now since we were playing well. But I look at him and I think, okay, why wouldn't Wenger sign someone like that? Because he's just, I think he's still living in that past where he was, you buy a player on the cheap, like Thierry Henry bought him from Juventus, I believe it was, and he wasn't playing very well at that
Thierry
point.
Henry, the left winger or something.
Yeah, he was a left winger at the time.
winger.
But I think because it's a big ego boost whenever you bring a player of that nature who's not playing very well in the team that he was playing in. All of a sudden he changes positioning and he's playing fantastic. But I think you've got to get rid of that mentality in this day and age, because I think now you either get a proven player already, the finished product, i.e. Zlatan, and actually just pay the money that you need to actually sign him and just put him in the team and see what happens.
Well, at the end of the day, he was a free signing, wasn't he?
Yeah,
his wages are high.
Yeah.
But that's all paid for Pogba already. And the shirt sales of Ibrahimovic has gone.
Where would United be without Zlatan now?
They wouldn't have scored that
You know,
many goals
they
anyway.
would have probably put Martial up front or whatever.
Yeah,
and they,
that would have been
and they
these are the
probably
two
would
options
have,
that they
Still
had.
waiting to get
and
his
Rooney,
goal
yeah,
record- his
and
record
they
score
probably
goal,
would be
wouldn't
8 goals less.
It's interesting you bring in Rooney. Are his days numbered?
Here's what I would say about Rooney. I think a lot of what is being said in the press about Rooney is highly disrespectful. I'm sorry. Rooney is a legend for United and England. He's the record goal scorer for England, and he's about to be the record goal scorer for
2 goals
United.
away from Bobby Charlton's
You know what I
record
mean?
or something.
Yeah.
Unbeaten.
Just because he's not banging in the goals again, there's one thing about Rooney you have to. I've watched a lot of the United games this season. Don't get me wrong, his passing has been atrocious at times, but he gives 150% every single game. He tracks back and he does what he has to do.
But what about the beard?
Gotta go.
Yeah,
He has to go. Has to go, man.
He's got more hair in his chin than his head.
looks like a game.
But they
He looks
dropped
horrible.
Rooney into more of a midfield position, so that they can't expect him to be banging goals in like he was beforehand, you know. And he's not as quick or whatever as he used to be. But they hope and expect him to be what he was 4 or 5 years ago. Plus the Zlatan, plus the pot. It's not that way.
Rooney's always been able to score goals from outside the box, which you traditionally put to a midfielder, don't you? Sure.
Yep.
He's playing from that. He's not. His shooting's been terrible.
Listen, we're midway through the season. I'm gonna ask you which players have impressed you the most. I mean, for me this season, I hate to say it, it's got to be Costa. You know, Costa last season was such a narc. You know, he was so angry.
Yeah.
He was forever getting in trouble, forever getting booked, forever sometimes getting sent off. But he seems to have changed his game style, but not lost any of the aggression.
But is that
and
because
still
they're
scoring?
not losing all the time?
Yeah,
That's
that. Yeah, because
Now they're winning. He's happy.
Yeah.
He's hugging his manager every time he scores.
Yeah.
And stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that's-
Whereas last year they were down the bottom losing.
He was angry with everybody because they were losing.
So what about for you? Which players stood out for you as we're halfway through the season?
So far, Coutinho probably. I know he's injured at the moment, but up until then, I think he's been the most outstanding player.
Dennis,
so
I'll turn to you.
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Yeah, you know, him and Costa both scored similar amount of goals. Sanchez's goals have been like fantastic goals. That step over 2 or 3 weeks ago, and stuck in the back.
It's
Just
offside.
against the Champions League contenders West Ham, that was just pure class, you know.
For you?
This is actually surprising, guys. Being a diehard United fan, but actually Mane from Liverpool.
Mane.
Yeah, he's been class, man. He just
Played
looks
well
like
today.
Yeah, he played really well today, and I think I was talking to Dennis during before the show. I was saying that Mane usually shows up in the big games, but this season now he's pretty consistent.
Yep.
He's showing up in the small
Yeah,
games. As
smaller games like Everton.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
West Ham.
Yeah.
from West Ham. Dennis, spit it out. Victor Moses, good shout. Victor Moses, the forgotten man.
Yeah, I know. He's just changed that team completely. He's just changed the dimension of the team completely.
Nothing like a bit of training at West Ham.
And Liverpool, and Stoke, and Wigan, and Palace. He's been with them all.
But you look at him, and because he was on the fringes of Chelsea for when he came to Chelsea, he was on the fringes all the time. And I think the fact that they're not playing Oscar kind of helped him quite a bit. Because all of a sudden, then they're looking up to him, going like, okay, you have to be the man. Because Costa is not the kind of player who's going to drop deep to get the ball and run and score a goal. He's just going to wait for you to actually put in the perfect pass, put in the correct cross, and everything else I'll do everything else.
But the credit there's got to go to Conte, hasn't he?
Conte
you know,
is
for
phenomenal.
playing in that wing-back position, Dennis, and changing the defence.
Is it any coincidence that Leicester are down near the bottom and Chelsea are at the top? They've really solidified that back forward central midfield position. And when we saw that, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. When they defend with like 7 or 8 defenders. They're like, it's since the Arsenal game they haven't conceded a goal. They haven't conceded a goal since the Arsenal game. Arsenal, of course, have.
Arsenal have.
Many.
You're itching, aren't you, Matt? I can see you're desperate to.
Oh, West Ham.
2 games in 2 for the mighty Hammers. Fortress, what's the name of your ground?
London Stadium.
Fortress London Stadium.
Now the Fortress, obviously.
Man of the match for you. Man of the match for you had to be the post.
Yeah, aluminium.
Aluminium.
It's a new player. Signed him just recently. It's brilliant. It's not the performances.
Doesn't matter though, does it?
Terrible,
No.
but I'll take the points. 7 points last 3 games. So, I mean, we had a good performance against Liverpool, but yeah, the last 2 performances have not been very good at all. Bit of a lucky penalty, I think. It was a little bit soft on the set last week's game. But yeah, I mean, the post just saved us massively, didn't it, with that one. But yeah, I don't know. We need to sort it out. But if we're winning those sort of games, then we should be all right, I think, if we can keep doing that. The luck's turned, as they say. But good.
Chelsea, is there anyone going to catch them?
Just say no, because you know the answer is no.
I don't think so, based upon how they're going at the moment. But then again, this is the Premier League. Anything can happen. You know, an injury could happen right now. I mean, Costa is suspended and Kante is suspended. There's an open chance that maybe Chelsea's going to draw the next game. So anything can happen.
Now, it's interesting, though, some of the news this week, Dennis, was that Oscar, the forgotten man of Chelsea, is going to be, you know, he's talking about him going to the new Chinese Super League, and his salary is going to be about $450,000
a week.
A week. Now, is he happy?
You would be.
If he doesn't like it, he can give it back and come back, you know. But 400 grand and 60 million to buy him.
I mean, is that in danger of destroying football, do you think? Salaries like that in China?
There's definitely, I wouldn't say a lot of British might do it, but definitely a lot of foreign players who come to the Premiership with a year or 2 to go on their contract might go, I could move to China for a couple of years and make a boatload of money, finish off my career, and then I'm gone.
But
It's a career-ending place.
I can imagine that as a career-ending place, kind of like Steven Gerrard went to Germany, but Oscar's 26, 25,
He's 26 and still in the Brazilian team.
I think it's all about the
I
money.
think that shows exactly that it's the
It's
money.
agreed.
Yeah. But is it him or is it his agent? Actually, a more shocking story for you. Forget the 400,000. Tevez is about to go from Boca Juniors to one of Chinese team. 650,000 pounds a week.
A week?
Yeah.
It's silly money.
Which would make
All
him
right,
the
guys,
top.
got a little bit of a confession to make. I've had to call off Chinese TV. They want me.
25,
I'm Matt.
25 euro.
Not too bothered about you.
Is it racial in it?
I'm just looking for guys who are tall over there.
They've got enough small people.
200 grand a week.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You happy?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Should we do that? Should we move to Beijing?
I could learn Chinese. Actually, for 200 grand a week, I'd get my own interpreter.
Dennis, there's a job for you at last.
You can barely speak English.
Good point. But this Chinese Super League, I
English is better than
mean, you
yours.
talk about Zlatan was rumoured to be going there. He's come out and said he's not. We've got Oscar going there. Is it going to damage the game, do you think?
To be honest, Personally, I don't think it's going to be that much of a detriment because at the end of the day, the home of football will always be in Europe. All the star players in the world will eventually want to go to Europe. And I think it's just going through a transition season. You remember back in the day, I think Italy and Spain were the big leagues to go to, and then the Premier League got big money, so star players start going there. I think after a while, the standard of the Chinese football is not going to be all that great anyway, even though they have star players coming in. But I don't think it's going to be a major
I think it's
issue.
crazy how China's got one of the biggest populace in the world.
Yeah.
And with all that many people,
They'd have
they
some
must,
better
they
players.
must be able to have decent enough players to create a decent league
Yeah.
there and have a decent league.
Huge
If they
sponsorship
do
money.
start having that, then there's no reason why these players should.
But we haven't seen many Chinese players in the Premier League. We've got the great Korean player
Couple of
that
Koreans.
Park played well at United. Son at Tottenham.
Swansea, yeah.
Son at Tottenham. There hasn't been an influx of great Chinese players, so maybe they're doing something wrong.
And on top of that too as well, I was reading up something, they were saying that they actually limit the cap of amount of foreign players that are able to go into the Chinese league. So that's why they're able to pay so
Big
high,
money.
big money
Yeah,
to get
almost a
these
bit like the
stars.
Indian Premier League, because they're playing out there, aren't they? With,
Yeah.
each team can have so many big stars. John Arisa and Perez.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, next weekend's fixtures. Christmas,
Yep.
tough time.
Swansea for us.
Swansea.
So hopefully another 3 points there, which would be nice. So,
Yeah.
Funny you should mention Swansea. Their manager, it's not working out for him, is it?
oh, he's spit a lot as well, doesn't he?
He spits a lot and he keeps calling it soccer.
I know.
They're like you, keeps calling the
I said it
games.
once.
You said it once. Once is enough.
Once was too much.
And he said the other day, I had to think for a minute. He said, well, until we got the PK,
But the PK,
penalty kick.
penalty kick.
All right.
What's that about?
Yeah.
So either a pen or a
That's why they're at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's why they're
the
That's
BT.
all right, mate.
Yeah. Have a word with
BT.
yourself. Aye.
They're the BT. You're going to try and get to some more games over in England?
Yeah,
Probably not.
He's not allowed back in there.
He's going to get you
I'm actually going to buy him a ticket, a season
Get
ticket.
your tickets. You get your ticket for Man United, West Ham. You're going to get you one for Arsenal, Man United.
There you
It's
go.
just a bad omen.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. You get used to it. It's okay. Everybody has. There's always one bad omen from one particular fan. So it's you for United. Jose Mourinho, take note. When you see him in the ground, check him out.
Run. There's pictures of him outside on the wall.
Yeah.
You see
Don't let this guy in.
Don't let him in. Bad for life. Never to come in here.
Don't
Take
fear
down
the
one of the
fear.
giant posters of Rooney and put his face.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Lives in Wales. Not allowed. Watch him.
Going back to today's fine victory with Liverpool. Interesting decision there. The referee was actually, the first time he's reffed a Liverpool game for 15 years.
Right.
Because he's from Liverpool.
Right.
Well, he's from just outside Liverpool. And the idea is that referees can't ref teams, in where they live.
Is he Everton or?
He's from Tranmere. He's a Tranmere Rovers fan. Yeah, he's a Tranmere Rovers fan, which was, it's the first time he's reffed a derby game. Thought he did okay until
I think he
the
got away with it.
until the Ross Barkley decision.
The Ross Barkley tackle was a little rough, to be honest,
should have been a
and should
straight
never
red.
get away with that. There's the referee was on top of the play. The linesman is there. It was a terrible tackle. That was a terrible. It was straight red. That could have been very, very dangerous. That could have broke that guy's leg.
I don't think the refs are actually doing such a good job this season.
You don't?
I didn't think they did last season.
Look at the Arsenal game
last
yesterday.
season, yeah.
Last season was
And you kind of look at it and what all the fans are crying out for is just consistency.
Yeah.
You don't really worry about if a decision goes against you and the same decision goes against everybody else in the league, then that's okay. But when it goes against you and it's only you guys that got the same referee probably refs another 3 or 4 games, doesn't give the same, then you kind of feel aggrieved.
Well, we have this season. We have the goal line technology, which came into play during the Leicester Stoke game. When the ball does cross the line, the referees watch. Is it time to take it further? Do you think, David?
He tried it somewhere, didn't he?
Like cricket, like rugby?
Well, the only concern I have is that if you start introducing replays, you're going to start getting the game getting disrupted, like with the NFL, where commercials are going to start coming into play. And we love the traditional, football, just free flowing. That's the thing that I personally love about football. Sitting 2 hours watching the game, free flow.
Yep.
But that's not a valid. I don't necessarily agree with you because I always think to
gonna
myself,
have a bit of a
how
fight?
long? I know, right? Yeah,
My money's on him.
He's taller than I am. He's taller than I am. Yeah, a big fight where you can win.
But you've got a
Sweat
stick.
Yeah, sweat leg. No, but to be quite honest with you, the way I look at it is, it doesn't take that long for someone to actually, because Kai are able to to actually do it in no time at all.
Yeah.
So all you need is one particular person who can actually say, well, that's yay or nay, and it's a quick one because they're all mic'd up anyway.
But Dennis, don't you think that it kind of, it takes, I suppose, the beauty out of it, and it takes you've got nothing to talk about on the pub that night, and they say that decisions balance each other over the season.
When they said they were bringing in goal line technology, I was, and nobody listened to me, but I was asking for box technology. Because when it goes into the box and guys dive or it's a penalty, the ref is blowing one way or another. Play is stopping. One team is in the ref's face. So all it needs for the referee to go calm down, signal up, and it's either a free out for simulation or a penalty. These are the decisions that changes games. And everybody complains that everybody's diving in the box. Like West Ham, with the greatest respect, had a 50-50 penalty. He got tugged by his hip. I'm sure if it was in the other box, he would have went straight through, not a bother on him, If the box technology where the ref would just stop, okay, 2 seconds, the rest of it I'd be fine with. I don't think it'll ruin the game at all.
Matt, your thoughts?
I agree with Dennis in the penalty side of things. For dives and bad challenges or anything like that.
But where does it stop? Does it then become every decision?
It needs to be dealt with and dealt with quick.
It needs to be.
Like David's saying, it shouldn't be able to spend too long to do it. They've recently done it at the World Club Cup competition with Real Madrid, I think it was.
It was.
And it was a shambles.
It was because Ramos was about to be sent off and then wasn't or something in the final.
The refs all like giving it.
You can imagine if it was the last game of the year and say West Ham were battling relegation and they give away a penalty and it wasn't a penalty and West Ham go down or Liverpool are going to win the league.
League football this year if it weren't for those decisions last year.
But is that always going to be how football is?
We missed 12 points probably.
Yeah.
Dennis, doesn't it lose the romance?
No, I don't believe it does. I mean,
You're not very romantic, are you?
that's not
Is there a
true,
Mrs.
ladies.
Dennis?
The romance is winning, isn't
That's
it?
not true, ladies. No, it's just I look at it and I go like.
Is there a Mrs. Dennis?
I'm refusing to answer that question. No, the purists will always argue, oh, we're losing the flavor of the game. They have the same argument about goal line technology, but come on, it's now actually working. It's proven to us it's working. Absolutely. But I kind of get annoyed about whenever I hear the purists go like, no, it's going to slow down the game. It doesn't take that long to get a decision because all you got to do is if there's a delay on it on the person who's actually watching, it could have told you in 2 seconds as to whether that was a pen or not.
I'm going to stop you there. We've run out of time, or we're nearly run out of time. David knows no fear. Back on the show, back on the television.
There you go. There you go.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely.
Glad to have you back.
We'll be back in Wales in some time soon. Don't worry.
Back in Wales, in the cold. Take the hat. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Oh, man. Football first, Stella Artois.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We shall be back at some point over Christmas. Not too sure when. We'll work it out.